Some verbs are followed by a gerund. Some verbs are followed by an infinitive. Some verbs are followed by a gerund or infinitive with no change in meaning. And some verbs are followed by a gerund or infinitive with a change in meaning. And these are the verbs we are going to talk about today. It's very important to make sure you use the correct structure to certain verbs, or you will end up saying something that you do not mean. The first verb that can be followed by either the gerund or the infinitive is to stop. We use the ing form after the verb to indicate that an action or event is no longer continuing. An example: he stopped smoking 2 years ago. This means that he was smoking, and then he stopped. He doesn't smoke anymore. However, stop plus infinitive has a different meaning. It is used to indicate that someone stops doing something in order to do something else. For example, he stopped to smoke on his way home yesterday. This means that he was maybe walking down the street, and then he stopped walking to light up his cigarette and start to smoke. To try. Try plus ing form is used when we are doing some sort of experiment. By experiment, I don't mean that you are a scientist somewhere in a lab doing an experiment. I mean you are doing something you haven't done before. An example: she tried eating less chocolate, but it didn't make her feel more healthy. And when we use try plus infinitive, we try to do something. It means we make a very big effort. We attempt to do something that is very difficult for us. An example: she tried to pass her driving test, but she failed. To remember. Remember plus gerund is used when you remember something that has happened in the past. You have a memory of it, like being able to see a movie in your head. An example: he remembers going to the seaside when he was 6. Remember plus infinitive is used when you think of something that you need to do. An example: I remembered to buy some milk. I was walking home and the idea that I needed milk came into my head, so I bought some. To forget. Forget plus ing form is used when you forget about a memory, something that you did or had in the past. An example: I'll never forget meeting him. It was love at first sight. Forget plus infinitive is used when you want to do something, but you forget about it. An example: I forgot to take my pills yesterday. To regret. Regret plus ing form is used when we are sorry about something that happened or didn't happen in the past. An example: she regrets selling her house. However, regret plus infinitive is used when we are giving someone bad news in quite a formal way. For example, I regret to tell you that you are fired. Go on. Go on plus ing form means to continue doing something. For example, he went on speaking for 2 hours. However, go on plus infinitive means to do the next action, which is often the next stage in a process described in the context. An example: she introduced herself and went on to talk about her new book. To need, require, and want. If we want to express a passive meaning, we can use the gerund after these verbs. For example, his hair needs cutting, or the windows want cleaning. I want to note here that the usage of need followed by a gerund is only possible in case of inanimated objects. And when we want to express an active meaning, we can use the infinitive after these verbs. For example, he needs to cut his hair, or he wants to clean the windows.